color. X-Type Extreme.
Which one, which model?
X-Type Extreme.
Okay. How long have you been working with it?
5 months.
Okay, so you're still pretty new to it.
Actually, I ran a plant in Utah that had 3 of the previous models.
Yeah,
Same
the
machine.
5000s.
They were not the. They were. They're similar, but without the updated interface and the printhead control.
Okay. And we have Thomas. How are you?
Hey, Charlie.
You get a haircut or what?
Yes.
Oh my God.
You know why this happens actually? We
Huh.
have only certain times where we can go to the hairdresser.
Uh-huh.
So go and cut them really.
So you just shave it all off. Listen, I know that feeling, you know, I don't have to worry about it. So
Now there's still something left here. So
I haven't been with you. It's a year ago that we were in Egypt together.
yes. I was just thinking about that because I think on some social media the design of the Tut Hamun popped up like printed a year ago.
Yep. Yeah. Looking forward to actually printing it the way it's supposed to be printed, but definitely need a show in order to do that.
Yep.
So I think we're getting people on that are MHM people. So I don't know who Frank is, but Ron does have one of your machines. And Ryan works for you, Ron?
Yes, he's the art director.
Oh, okay, great.
Now, Frank, just a short information. Frank is from our sister company from the Soma, and he's
Oh,
joining.
okay.
Just listen this. He's doing the marketing, and so I invited him to look after me. So that I'm not making too much mistakes here.
It's all right. You're the CEO. If you make a mistake, you can always correct it.
Yeah,
You can lie.
we can
So
make it up a little bit.
what's the situation in Germany? Do they have the vaccine coming around at all in Germany?
First of all, we are in Austria.
Yeah. When I was at MHM, all you had to do was step across the bridge and you were in Germany.
That's right. But let's call it that way. We are similar in both. I mean, they started with the vaccine. Still, we have a kind of lockdown here. Bars, restaurants are still closed.
Uh-huh.
But let's say the industry side, everything is open. We never closed actually. We have been running since day one.
Right.
It was under different circumstances, but that's what it is. And we're looking into some reopening in the next 2 or 3 weeks. We will start
Okay.
step by step to reopen. And like you asked, the vaccine is taking place for the older people or the danger people or
I
the
know.
group.
I've already gotten both my shots.
Yeah. So, okay, here we are still a little bit behind, I would say, but we're working on that.
Yeah, well, that's okay. That's because you're Austrian. So, I mean, I understand why you're behind.
Yeah, we know that way. We take sometimes just a little bit more easy, huh?
I thought that you lived in Rosenheim, not in on the German side.
No, that is flow.
Yeah, well, I know. I stayed in Rosenheim with him.
Yeah, no.
So
I'm living in Roll in the Alps, mountains, snow.
well,
That's where
you're not too far from where I was born. I was born in Mittenwald.
Yeah,
It's between Garmisch and Innsbruck.
yeah.
So while we're waiting for others to show up, which it's just starting now anyway. Um, what's going on that's new with anything going on there?
Ah, where should I start? Now,
Um,
let's say it this way,
actually, Ron, you have any questions or anything for Thomas?
I will eventually, but not right now.
Okay.
okay. Let me give you a short overview of past, let's say the last past year and what has been happened and where we are now and what are the targets for the near future.
Okay.
Like I said, we never really stopped since the beginning of the pandemic. Uh, we are still working with the same amount of employees. Uh, Business, of course, slowed down in the first couple of months, really strong, but then everything came back up. We are still not on the same level like before. I have to say, but we took the chance in the past 12 months to start more different processes. We are owned by the Efficiency Holding, which owns also Tesoma and MHM. So in the past couple of months, we have been starting working more deeply together. Like investing strategic in workflow processes. Like Tesoma is now doing all the laser cutting for MHM. On the other side, we have investing in new CNC machineries. So we do all the CNC parts for Tesoma. So we are now putting together the purchase departments into one purchase department. All this, actually, to be honest, with the pandemic, is give us a little bit more time to do that, or more capacity,
Yeah.
because when you run on full speed, it's very hard to start and finish such process. And this is what we have been doing in the last couple of months. And of course, we were also looking into what 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 can we do new, what can we change. As an example, we have released the new oval machine from MHM with a central drive system, which is already now delivered in certain areas and quite a couple of countries. And machine is really we have a very good response back from customers. Similar was the Soma. Now they rework their product portfolio, so the compact series is totally new. All this, so we have taken the chance to work really the different models and on different projects. Also, we've been working on the digital side a lot, basically
Uh-huh.
in the last 8 months. You might probably know that we have the small vPro unit, which is very popular for smaller shops, and we are in the final stage right now to finish or to go to the market with a high-speed digital machine, which we were hoping to show on one of the major exhibitions this year, but we don't know if this will really happen.
Well,
The machine
FESPA
is
may be the right show then.
Yeah. So the digital machine is ready. It will be a revolutionary system. We work with only one large print head, very very user friendly, very service friendly. So I think we have done quite a lot big process in the past 12 months.
Is that just BTG or is that your hybrid? You're
It
changing the
is a
hybrid.
hybrid. It is a hybrid.
Good.
What's the
Based
price point going to be? Somewhere around what?
Uh, it will be between 150K euro to 185.
Okay. So you're right
And
in line with all the other big guys.
yeah, we think we are quite faster, and you will be surprised because what I said, it will be a totally new system because we using the oval machine, the new oval machine, and we drive the printing good underneath the print head. So the print head is not moving. The
Okay.
digital printer is not moving. So that's that's taking away a lot of different smaller problems in digital printing, like the speed of the head and transport of the inks and all this. So we have
It'd be
a
interesting.
interesting
Looking
idea.
forward to seeing how it works.
Yeah, I can tell you everything. I mean, the machine is working. We are printing, and we are reaching easily in the digital. We print 800 to 1,000 pieces per hour quite easily. No, that's no problem. So this will be a real high speed version
Wow.
coming soon.
Oh, that's fast.
That is fast.
Yeah.
So
Are you doing any special effects with it where you're going over high density ink or any of the other types of special effect inks?
uh, that honestly, we are not that far that we have done it yet. We have been printing on different materials and on different surfaces. It's quite working. I think in theory it is possible, but to be honest, we have not run that test right now.
Okay.
You'll get to that.
Sooner or later. Yeah.
Very soon, very soon.
Good. Well, you know, probably the best thing to do is
just not-
shoot some.
Yeah, it's just not good enough to show you such video in this second, but it's already running, and the technology I can name you the printhead. It's from Memjet, which is a well-known printhead in the digital printing, not in the direct to garment, but it's coming from industrial printing. So the technology is bulletproof.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, that's basically the last 12 months in a very short version, now. So uh, we have I would say we have some markets they have already restarted in a good way. Uh, we have been coming back into the Turkish market, and we are also India, Bangladesh, Pakistan. I mean, they're quite busy. They have been actually the first ones, like going back to regular industrial printing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Still not a thing like before, like I said, but they are quite strong, and Europe is waking up step by step right now. Little here, little there. Germany seems to be quite busy right now, so that's
Yeah.
what it is.
Well, I've been in touch with some of the companies in Bangladesh and Sri Lanka. I mean, they've definitely opened up their factories.
Yeah.
Of course, they couldn't afford to keep them closed too long, otherwise they would starve to death. But as far as anybody going there, I don't know too many people who are traveling back and forth to Bangladesh or Sri Lanka. India, I guess, is opening up quite a bit as well, although they definitely have issues, but they've lifted some of their restrictions.
Yeah. And for us, the biggest problem is still the traveling itself, because there are so many restrictions with quarantine and whatever. It's this is the biggest problem we face right now. That we can send people, but it's like a kind of difficult process. Uh, that's we hope really very very strong that with the vaccine, if our people have the vaccine, they're free to travel again, because we have to we have a couple machines around, and they're not installed yet because nobody is able to travel there. That
Yeah.
will bring us some headache in the next couple of months, yeah, or weeks.
Well,
But
in the U.S., we can't get out of the U.S. unless we go to Mexico. That's about it. Yeah, other than Mexico, Europe doesn't want us, which I understand,
but
and
it's
I
the
don't
same
blame
way
them.
around. We have been looking to fly to US, and it's also, I don't know what you need to do to get an entrance now to US right now.
I'm not sure either. I don't know if you can. They've closed a lot of it, so difficult to say. Um, I just don't know anyone who's been trying to come to the U.S. If you do, I believe you have to go into quarantine. And I don't know how many people are really ready to sit in a hotel 2 weeks before they can get out.
Yeah, you definitely hear. Hey, Thomas. Coming to the US West.
Zoom.
Yeah.
Were you on a Zoom?
Oh. Set up our press.
Okay, sorry. All right.
What Zoom were you on?
It's Zoom meeting.
You want to stay on it?
No, it's okay.
Are you sure?
Yeah, we're gonna be going for a while. No worries. The press manufacturer.
Oh, something wrong with it?
No.
Yeah, very quickly. We're gonna talk about the business part.
Yeah. Let's talk
Okay.
about this.
I'm sorry, was there any question for me now? Because I really couldn't understand this really good.
I couldn't either.
Yeah.
But I think that here, instead of that, I think we want the amplifier, the word amplifier. Because I realized when I was looking at it, it's not anywhere. The name of the amplifier in this version. So it's
Hello?
Charlie,
Yeah. Sorry about that.
I hear you very good. So
Trying to get somebody on.
so how is your life doing in these
Okay,
crazy
sorry.
times?
Me? So
Yeah.
I came back from Egypt on March 4th. Actually going to do a consulting job on Sunday for the first time in a year. Driving myself crazy sitting home. You know, when you're married, they seem to find things for you to do that they never bothered with when you're busy moving around. So, you know, it's been difficult. I've been painting, which is not a bad thing, and I'm in the midst of working on a book. One of them is a technical book on screen printing, which is almost done. And then I started to put together a book on some of my experiences in the industries. You know, I've been doing this since 1976. So there's always some interesting and funny stories. And so I've been trying to put that together. You know, not being a great writer. I mean, I'll sit at my computer and write for like 3 or 4 hours and realize that I've gotten through 2 pages. And, you know, I look at some of the people who put out books of, 300 pages, and it's like, I don't think I could live long enough to get to 300 pages, but that's okay. But my technical one is almost done. And then I've been working with putting together a new unit called the Wall, and it's for predominantly for water-based printing. So it goes in the screen, and with water-based, you get a buildup on each side that starts to get hard and crusty, and somebody has to keep moving it. So by putting this in, it's an adjustable unit, and you can put it to within 1/8 of an inch of your flood bar. And this way you don't get that buildup. Did some testing. I have the newest one coming today, but I did some testing at one of the shops in Denver, and we did about 300 strokes. Didn't get hardly any leak underneath, and never got any crust. So going to put that out probably very, very soon. As soon as I get my unit today, I have to shoot a proper video of how to use it, but it's quite simple. It just falls in, and it's definitely not for short runs. You know, if I were doing 100 shirts, would I put this in? I probably wouldn't. It's not going to be enough to make a difference. But if you're doing anything on the longer run where you constantly need somebody to come around and push the ink in and move it around, this will resolve that particular problem. So other than that, waiting for the sun to shine a little bit more. And actually, we're going to have a pretty warm day today. It's going to be about 60 degrees, which for Colorado in the winter is pretty good, which means I can sit outside and smoke a cigar. But and then we're expecting snow tomorrow. So
Yeah, but I have a quick question because you said this special tool for that water-based printing. That can you see definitely that water-based inks are coming more and more also in U.S. market right now?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Not so much on smaller shops, but I think a lot of the bigger shops are definitely adding it as part of what they offer. Like most of us, we still love printing plastisol because it's painless for the most part. But just being realistic, why people ask for water based is still kind of a mystery. I mean, you hear the word water, you think it's environmentally friendly, and it's not. You still need a filtration system. And if you don't filter it, what's the difference? And if you're filtering your plastisol, what makes it any worse? Nothing. Nevertheless, the major companies are requesting water based because in their minds they think it's more environmentally friendly. Is that the reality? It's not. But trying to convince them of it, no. So, when Nike decided a number of years ago that they wanted everything to be done with water base, initially they pushed it and all the printers basically told them to kiss off, that they weren't going that way. But of course, eventually they all did. And the way Nike goes is where all the other sportswear companies want to go. They don't want to be in a position of doing things that are different. Probably Puma is probably the most environmentally friendly company in terms of what they've been producing for years and years before Nike or Adidas even got involved with the whole water-based deal. But pretty much, I think anyone who is of a decent size, they have to be able to handle water-based. And there are more and more shops. The Denver Print House in Denver is 100% water-based. And I was speaking to Samir over in Istanbul the other day, who opened his own shop now. And he's been 100% water-based, but he's even more environmentally friendly than anyone else. Everything in his shop goes to 1,000-gallon holding tank and then gets sent out to be filtered. So nothing goes down his drain. But and that's unusual. But yeah, I'm going to do a consulting job. I leave on Sunday, and I've had water-based ink sent into them. And again, they're a one automatic shop, which I consider a moderate size, not small. But in order to make noise in your community and in order to be able to get certain types of work, you have to work with water-based.
Yeah, because like you said it correctly, we can see the same. I mean, our big customers, let's call them the large ones, 20 overs and bigger, and all these, they will all work on water base. But also what I see is that they using an extended amount of flash cures and a lot of electricity. So yeah,
What's funny, when I was in Bangladesh, which seems like forever ago, so I went into a shop that had just gotten in a new 18 color 20 station automatic with 9 flash units on it, which, I find almost hilarious. I went to another shop, which really was, and I have videos of it, which was really good. It was doing a print, flash, cool, and then print. So they had more flash units than they had screens.
yep. No, this is what from the printer side and from the engineering side, that doesn't make me very happy because in the end you burn a lot of energy out of the window,
Right.
which I think could be done a little bit different.
Yeah,
And
but here's the thing: they're environmentally friendly because they're using water base.
yeah, But burning 5 times more energy than before.
Yeah, but the customer doesn't see that. Customer only sees what the finished garment looks like. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think the whole thing
But
about
this is
being
my
energy efficient and
question.
all is almost a joke.
So will the US water-based printing going a similar way, or will it be a more advanced way?
You know, I honestly I think the thing in the U.S. is that our customers don't have as much crazy demands as the ones over in Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, India, etc. Um, you know, there they don't think twice about having 3 white screens with 3 strokes per screen with flashes in between. And in the U.S., no one is going to really do that.
Yeah.
Okay, and so for our customers, which are not going to be the massive companies, um, I don't see us doing quite the same thing. I don't see us putting in 6 flash units to do a 7 color job. But over there, it's whatever the customer wants. And so, you know, the amazing thing is the number of 56 pallet machines that you see over there, crazy.
Crazy, yeah.
You
And
know, I
that's
mean,
because of that sequence: printing, flashing, cooling, printing,
yeah,
flashing, cooling. Uh, it's for us. It's also is like normal to have a 46, 48, 50 pallet machine, 12 flash cures. It's like a
yeah.
regular selling machine. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, having been there, I was doing some work using a double squeegee and showing them how they can use a double squeegee and a roller squeegee or a hot head type thing. And what I found interesting, and you've been to Bangladesh and Sri Lanka, yeah.
Yes.
So what I found interesting in showing them how they can use these tools and probably bump up their productivity, maybe oh 25, 30%. None of them wanted it. You know why? Because the owners of the company aren't there. They live somewhere else, and so you have a general manager who does all the decision making. And the reason they won't use that type of thing is their production will go up, and they're afraid that the owner is going to want to know why they didn't do this before. And if the owner's already making money, he's quite content, and so they don't push to do more, even though they could.
Yeah, we know that it's difficult. Now, I was asking because we also have been looking into the different flash cure technology in the past months or couple of months. We have invented a really nice hot air flash cure, uh, because it's very actually very usable or useful hybrid printing. We found out it
Yeah,
works better than the regular flash cures. uh, and we look into different lamps with different
wavelength. Yeah,
and also of course we increased the air volumes in the new version of flash cures, because you need, for the water-based inks, you need a little bit more airflow than you needed before. So this is why I was asking how the way will go in US, because we have to follow up that path and
well,
uh,
I do believe that it's a worthwhile thing. You know, I it's what's interesting. I don't think a lot of Americans understand the whole thing about the wavelength. Uh, Many years ago, and I'm probably going back 30, 35 years, when I was in the UK, they were talking about short wave, long wave, and I'm sitting there thinking, what the hell are you talking about? Um, and they're saying, yeah, you know, using this, we can dry a shirt or cure a garment in next to no time. And I'm thinking, how do you do that? And it's all based on the wavelength, which no one talks about. I guess in the US, most of what's made is just a medium wavelength.
it's actually, I would not say nobody talks about. It's just I think people are so resistant against something like this, in some cases they hardly believe. You know, we offer since years, we offer two versions of lamps. We with the regular, we call them quartz lamps, and of course the carbon lamps, which have a really special wavelengths, which is absolutely the best lamp you can use for plastisols. Yeah.
Right.
And it's like it's curing in a half time. It does not really need this hot temperature, but still customers don't want to invest, 1,500 more. It's
Well,
always,
you know,
yeah.
what's, and I find that interesting, you know, going into a shop that just bought 9 new flash units for, I don't know what the price point is, but you would think that if they could go to a faster unit and have fewer flashes, you would think that they would be willing to spend the extra money on the flashes that they are getting, and of course they don't, which I find amazing. But
Yeah.
you know, like I said,
Also,
the big thing on a lot of those shops is the owner isn't who you're talking to. You're talking to a general manager, and the general manager doesn't want to spend the money.
no, he gets, I would say he gets a clear plan. Okay, this is the process you have to do. And that's the process actually approved from the big boss, let's call it that way.
Right.
And he's looking that way. It's not wanted to change to a better version or whatever. Also, what I like to say is this, in the past, we had also to change the pellets, not the quality of the pellets, the way we make the pellets, we had to
Right.
change a little because of that, because these customers with these large pellets over there, and they print all on cut pieces, not on finished garments.
Right.
Yeah. So we had to make different pellets with different cooling versions, because 9 or 10 or 12 flash cures are really giving a lot of heat to this. Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that's for in terms of the lifetime, it's also not the best. Huh?
Do you have one of the iron, hotheads or whatever? Do you have one of those showing also?
Yes, actually, we have this. I would say since 2 years, and we have a couple of customers. They have it in use already, and uh, I don't think I have to explain. It's a hot iron. That's what it
No,
is. And,
of course.
yeah, and it works fine. Customers, most of them are happy. Some actually said, okay, not really needed for their kind of print. They expected something other, but others, they say it's looking so much better. And yeah,
I think it looks better. You know, I've been playing around with a roller squeegee and a hothead, where you do the roller squeegee after the underbase, and you use a hothead at the very end to flatten everything and make everything look smoother and feel smoother. And to me, that made more sense than having it early in the progression.
yeah, you see, I know customers, they use it before the first print. Yeah,
Yeah, to
just to
flatten the
flatten
fabric.
down their t-shirt. And then I would say, is it because of the t-shirt quality? I don't know.
I
It's
agree.
yeah, that's something you have to look into. I think if you have a real good shirt, the Pro Iron might help in some kind of print, but might not be necessary either. So
Listen, I think I'm a fan of trying to make everything look as good as it can before it goes in the dryer.
yeah, I agree on that. Yeah,
And if you're really knocking out production, having a roller squeegee, having a iron on it, and actually having more than one of those, to me, it's a small cost to improve your quality and your productivity. And I think those are the important things: is getting the quality and productivity up.
yeah, it gives you more options, more possibilities.
Can you gentlemen hear me now?
Yes,
Yes, much better than before.
I was having technical issues. I
you
enjoyed all
even
that.
you even
I
look
enjoyed,
better
Now,
without the headphones.
I enjoyed all that information about the flash cures and the wavelengths and all that. But I wanted to get back to my question. Um, are you still in the works of opening a MHM US warehouse in Houston?
We actually, it is, the company itself is founded already. That's already in progress, or already done in the papers, everything. We started active doing it. We have postponed that because we said we have some other priorities right now, like the internal one, and we are not able to plan all this. So we said let's wait until we have a more clear picture, and then we will continue that. But in the meantime, we started to work even more deeper with SPSI, and building up a spare parts stock over there. Now I think they're close to sales of 50,000 euros or something like this, so that we can shorten that times in the meantime. But yes, we still work on that, and it's in progress. But I would say maybe not this year. We will see when we're gonna be active with that. But still, working on.
That's down the road, and I wanted to mention that we have just one press, and we brought in a compact. I know we didn't get the dry light. We got the compact for cost and space restrictions, but we love that dryer. So I know there's not that many in the U.S. yet, but
Quite a few.
It has my stamp of approval anyway. I've been in this business for 33 years myself.
And like I mentioned before, with the compact, we are actually moving a little bit away from the dry light to be the standard, because the compact now is available in different sizes, from 3 meter, 4 meter, 6 meter, 8 meter, because it has a so good result in the airflow, and
Yeah.
we decided to go a little bit more cost effective for the customer, and build up this new line of dryers. And that's actually taking place right now. The dry light is only, I would say, we manufacture it on special order.
I see. Yeah, even with the limited tunnel, it dries our discharge and water basing efficiently and quickly. So we love it. It fires right up every morning. I'm used to M&R equipment, and before that, precision, and it's much better, much more efficient, much cool to the touch. It gets hot here in Texas in the summer, and so it's just night and day. It's great. I ran into a technical issue as well when we switched over from M&R presses to MHM. They're not my first rodeo. I've used your machines in Utah at a place called In the Paint. It doesn't exist anymore. But we spent $60,000 on a M&R direct-to-screen STE a few years back, and so we had a technical issue with that being designed for the tri-lock system with M&R to the pin system.
Yeah.
So I had to have parts manufactured at a machine shop to mimic your print heads to our direct to screen, and it's been a challenge, but it's almost done. I was wondering, as more and more U.S. companies go to the best press in the world, MHM, and they're stuck with $60,000 direct-to-screen machines that are M&R, it might be time to start developing a conversion kit, a retrofit MHM pins that will work flawlessly, mimic the print head, with the M&R direct to screen machines.
Yeah, it's actually quite funny that you mentioned this because I know for sure this is existing already.
Well,
There is a kit offered from M&R side if they go into an MHM shop and offer their direct to screen. They sell it with the pins from MHM. So there
I
must be
I
kits
think
for it.
I think I was spearheading that originally months and months ago. I mentioned it to them, and they were like, "No, we don't have that." And now they won't, unless I buy a new one. They won't sell me a kit.
Yeah, but you're right. You're right. I will make a note of that because maybe we should offer it from our side.
Yeah, because there's a lot of those in the field,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it'll help entice a lot of people to switch over if they don't have to spend another $60K on a direct to screen machine.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Do the Dotted and some of the others work with MHMs also, or do they have to have fittings on them? I thought that wasn't an issue with those machines.
No,
It's
you
not.
can order that pins to be that bar with the MHMs without it
Okay.
with
Yeah.
that's like standard for them. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I'm more talking about people who are converting from ME.
From M&R to MHM.
Yeah,
Like we
you're
did.
right.
Yeah,
It's a very good.
when I was up at M&R, I know that they were redesigning quite a few of their things to be able to handle anybody's screens.
Yeah.
But
A few months ago they weren't, but they sure are on the ball now.
Oh, but that's a
well,
good. We will definitely look into that. That makes
Well,
things more easy.
huh?
would I like a new Douthit or Spider? Sure, but I don't have 65 grand laying around to.
I just sold off a 2-year-old Dothet for 20 some odd thousand
Hmm.
from a shop closing down. They seem to be a nice machine. I was always a fan more of the I was not a big fan of the wax. I'm not sure which way to go now. The only thing I don't like about the wax units, $5,000 on a new head.
Exactly.
And, does that make sense to me? No. I mean, I was involved with Richmond way back where new heads on their machine were $200, and you bought 3 or 4 of them and put them on the shelf because at $200, who cared? And of course, when Richmond went out, all of a sudden the reconditioned heads went to 1,500. And it's like, really? Okay. And of course, now even if you have it, it doesn't. Yeah, not. Then they wanted another 35,000 to convert it over, and it's like, forget it. But
No.
if wax works for you, I guess that's the way to go. I'm still an ink fan, but everyone says you can do better detail with wax in terms of higher LPI. And maybe you can, but the question is how high you're going to go. Are you really going that much higher than 55, 65, 75, 85 line halftone? Because I think any of them will go up to about 80 to 85.
This is true. You don't need more than 55 for 99.9% of what you're printing. So,
Well, I'm an Andy Anderson fan, and he's never really gone above 65 line halftones.
no.
And his work is superb, or was anyway, until he had to bail out.
This ink-based system we have is about 4 years old and never had any problems with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I
It goes every day, all day. Just
every
add ink
wax,
and go.
every
I
shop
think-
I've gone into that had a wax unit, for whatever reason, when I had them shoot screens or image screens, there would be a line, and it's like, really, what the hell is that line? Oh, one of the heads didn't work. It's like, come on.
It's all Kool-Aid, just like water base.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, well. Thomas, you have a direct to screen system also, don't you? Or you did
No, actually, no, we work together with Exile.
with Exile.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the Exile machine and Adopted. I mean, all of them are based on the Lucia originally.
Yeah.
Lucia or Vivo, huh?
No, Lucia. Kiwo bought when I did the FESPA show in 1999 in Munich. Lucia was there and Richmond was there. That's why Richmond never got sued by them, because they had the opportunity, but they didn't. But Kiwo made their own machine. They made two of them, from my understanding. And the company that bought one ended up with both of them because it was breaking down all the time. And so eventually Kiwo worked together with Lucia to buy their technology, and they came out with their machine, which Dotted and which Exile are pretty much the same type of machines. So it may be a slight modification, but it's all based on Lucia's technology.
Charlie, do you remember the Gerber
Oh yeah, one of my
screen
one of my customers had one. Well, you could go all the way down to a 25% dot, but anything below 25 wasn't going to show up. But for what it was, I mean, he actually, my client actually did a lot of boxer shorts and stuff, so there was really no detail, and for that, it was perfect. But
Yeah.
if you wanted to do a halftone job, forget it. You were
Yeah.
better off with Zipatone at that point.
Yeah.
But they were quite innovative at that. When you consider when that came out,
91, I think.
somewhere in the early 90s.
Yeah.
And they lasted probably about 5 years before everybody's kind of kissed them off.
Yeah.
But that welcome to innovation. I mean, sometimes being the first one out there isn't the best thing, but other times it's not a bad thing to do. And I think you just have to look at what your company needs, and will it fulfill what the need is. And if it is, then it's a worthwhile deal. I think when they came out, they were about 20 grand.
Yeah.
And even when I went over to my client's place, it's like, really, you spent 20,000 on this? He said, yeah. He said, I'd do it again. Of course, he couldn't get parts or anything for it at a very short period of time. But I mean, Gerber had a great reputation, but it was really in the cut and sew industry, not in the inkjet industry.
But
You
I think
doing
we're
much
all
ski?
clear
Huh?
about that. I think we're all clear that the computer to screen is, I mean, it's a tool I wouldn't want to have to miss. That's
Yeah.
I like that, because everything with the TTS, with the pins, it comes together so easily to change over from one design to the other. You can create a real great system. Huh? That's
Yeah.
for me, honestly. I'm not the advanced printer, so if it is wax or if it is ink, as long as the user is happy with that what it's doing, for me both, I would not recommend this over that from my side.
Yeah.
I would only recommend have bins on your screens, because then you will be faster in the end. That's here we are.
I had another quick question for you. We're planning on doing a lot of small posters here. We're in the live music capital of the world, supposedly. But we're interested in bringing in one of your vacuum pallets for the press. I don't know if you sell a lot of those, but here in the U.S., poster printing is, it's gaining steam. Screen printed posters is compared to digital. For rock bands and things like that.
Going back to the 70s, huh?
Yeah. But we're interested in getting one of your vacuum pallets and using head one on the auto, and printing one color at a time with water-based poster ink or whatever we're going to choose. But we noticed there's some press manufacturers where there's a program, I think Anatol has this feature where, say you're only going to use one palette on your press, you load the piece, and in automatic mode, it will swing over, print that one color, and then swing back. So load, index, print, index backwards, just one palette. And I've been in contact with a couple of your people there in Austria, and they said, as you know, the press won't do it. You just have to do it manually. You know, stand there and index, print, back, you know. Would it be, I know it costs money, but adding code to do that to your interface would be brilliant.
Very, very simple answer. I mean, this is everything is digital and the software is programmable. So of course it is makeable. Yeah. And the point is only really, you know,
Is there enough demand for it to justify the cost?
that's, you know, that's a very simple business decision. In the end, to be very honest, I mean, that's the first time we had a request like that. And
You know-
I know, because I think I have given the final answer. We have quite a few printing on paper on posters. We have a few, but they print multicolored prints with a vacuum version of the machine. We quite a couple of these customers, but we never had really one printing on one single pallet going forward, backward.
You're converting the press into a flatbed.
Yeah.
Yeah, but as an example, what we offer for such customers is we have a single print station unit, which is doing exactly that job. You can have it with a vacuum pallet, is the same printhead as you are using right now. You can use same screen, same squeegee. It's like one-to-one, and it is, you know, really made for that particular job. But like we said, of course we can put a special code into the software and make that happen. In theory, yes.
You guys said they wouldn't do it, so. Just fun, and it's okay.
No,
What's the price point on that press, like in US dollars? Do you have any idea?
sorry.
What would be the price point roughly on that in US dollars? Do you have an idea of that?
What do you mean, the single version?
Yes.
I would say it's around 15,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
It's not so bad overall, you know, and it's a quite, then you have the whole process, and it's not in my opinion, or in our opinion, you know, a carousel machine should run a certain decent speed during the day and not being used like printing 25 posters, one color in an hour. Okay. If there is nothing else to do, it's an option. But overall, I think it is better when it's print really is doing the job what it's made for.
Right. Unfortunately, we do go through ups and downs where we could make time for that, but as the company grows, that time will shrink.
Yeah, that's
Hopefully
a
so.
lot of time, which is eating productivity normally. You know, if you sometimes I can see this from our side. You know, we have done a lot of automatic production lines in the past 12 months also, because we said, okay, we did it this way, we did it that way, and that's a good way. But in the end, we said, you know, we are burning capacity here and capacity there. And if we want to grow for the next step, we need to add on people or whatever, but it's now we are going the other way around. We are saying, okay, let's optimize the working capacity we have, and don't waste 5 hours on a stupid job which can be done by a small robot, you know. So that's a similar question here, you know.
Well, thank you.
You still here, Charlie?
Huh?
You're still here? Oh, yes.
Costa, how are you?
Oh, just fine, just fine. Yeah. And you?
Yeah, feeling pretty good. Got my second vaccine and looking to get out again.
Cool.
So
Yeah, we haven't started vaccine yet, but soon, I hope.
yeah, well, sooner or later. Whose machine? You're working in automatic, aren't you? No, you're all manual.
No, I haven't started screen yet. I
Oh,
will start screen.
okay.
I do all the other things, not screen yet. Yet.
So you're still making money.
Yep.
Well, don't worry. We can help you get rid of it when you go into screen printing.
But in Sweden, there's not room for that many screen printers. So I'm learning to be the best customer of screen prints as possible, because I can do with your friend Scott. I learned by his technique how to produce the best originals, and then now I learn now the difference between the different T-shirts, and to have the best, to be the best customer of a screen printer. But I do all the other things. We have my daughter has direct to garment, and we do sublimation, and I have HTV, and we do signs, and we do all the prices, and so we do a lot, but not screen printing yet. We're gonna start with screen print on the boxes for the delivery. So we have the brand on the boxes. And
Okay.
this I'm gonna do this year. Because now I'm comfortable enough to at least what do you call ink slab. That will be my first step.
Yeah, the only reason I ask, I know one of the past presidents of FESPA was from Sweden, Anders Nielsen, and had a big screen print shop, but he was doing graphics, not textiles. And he was all the way up north, I think, somewhere, not near Stockholm.
No, that's right. I go mute because I have some dogs that are not so happy inside. So, and we had like four sheep this morning. So on the farm. So so this thing with the printing, for my point, is just one part of all the things that we do on this whole facilities, because the main thing is herding dogs and breeding, training, and do courses, and so we supply everything that is around herding, with all the garments and all the stuff mainly for our own purpose. But this last year we expanded into, and I took over these things with the embroidery and the presses and stuff to manage everything. So I need to learn, and I learn from the best.
Okay. Ah. Thomas, anything else to put in here?
The only one question, because Vespa came up. What is your expectation about an exhibition this year? Where what? I mean, are your customers, are they looking into that to go and see if there is Print United as an example, or what are people speaking about that?
You know, so you have Printing United. FESPA is 1 week before Printing United. And so it's going to be very interesting, because if you're the type of company that sells to the world market and to the US market, which one do you go in? Because obviously trying to go into both is going to be very difficult this year. Of course, then no one knows what's going to be open and what's not. I mean, FESPA is banking on the fact that by October, things will have opened up. And Printing United is banking on the same thing. Personally, I think Printing United will go off, only because right now with Biden, I was watching the news last night. He expects to have the adult population in the US vaccinated by the end of May. And of course, there are a lot of people who don't want to get vaccinated, which I think is stupid, but that's just an opinion. But in any event, if he does pull that off and have it by the end of May, then there's no reason why by October we wouldn't be able to have major size shows. As far as FESPA goes, it's going to be in Amsterdam, and I have no idea what's going on over in Europe. I mean, obviously, we have states that have spikes and others that don't. Europe, I think, is all over the place at the moment. Like you said, in Sweden, they're not even vaccinating yet. And so if I were going to put my money down on one show, would it be FESPA or would it be Printing United? I'd have to go with Printing United, only because I think that that's going to open up. That being said, will they allow people from other countries to come in without having quarantine? And that's really a good one. I asked Marcy Kinter to be on this Zoom session. I think in about a month from now, 2 sessions from now, and I'm hoping that by then we'll know more about where the U.S. market is, but also more about where Printing United is going to be. So hopefully she'll be able to come on. But
even Vespa said they will make the decision in June or something like that. They keep it open until that time.
Well, I had Michael Ryan on the other week, and I think, well, right now there, of course, everybody is going full forward. I did get a notice that the ISS show, or the Impressions Expo for Long Beach, is canceled, which makes sense, because the closer you come to next January, the more ridiculous it becomes to have that show. But their show in Fort Worth and their show in Atlantic City in August is still on. And I don't think that they're going to have trouble with the one in Atlantic City. The one in Texas, Texas has opened up completely, whether you like it or not. So, will they be able to have that show? Yes. It's going to be an interesting one, because they don't have as of yesterday, they eliminated the mask rule, and they also eliminated the number of people who could come into a restaurant. They've opened everything up completely, which I guess if you're a restaurant owner, that's great. I suppose if you're a little more cautious, you're probably still not going to go out. But
Right here.
yeah, you know, would I go to a restaurant that's full of people? No.
No.
You know, 25% capacity is where we are in Colorado. I don't have too much of a problem with that, but to be honest with you, my wife has now learned how to actually cook, which which you can laugh at, but you know, for 40 some odd years, she didn't. I mean, she was great at making reservations. And, you know, so it's been kind of an interesting situation. I think putting yourself into a situation that is stupid is exactly that. It's just stupid. Um, you know, they say with the vaccine, the chances of going to a hospital or dying are reduced tremendously, and I believe that. But why push the envelope unless you have a real reason for it? So um, I'm just waiting for the first show. I think the first one that's scheduled, if I'm not mistaken, is an MBM show, which I don't go to them, so I really don't stay up with it. But I thought they had one scheduled for May. Um, but their shows are so small that it may not be an issue.
Well, I don't know what's worse, this pandemic or this 2 weeks ago, this Texas ice storm that we had that just
I know
completely screwed up this area, man. And I was out of water for 6 days and iced into my house.
Well, my daughter wasn't affected for the first day or two.
Mm-hmm.
Had a friend come over to stay with her who was immediately affected, and then they had to pack their bags and go over to a third friend's house because my daughter's building went cold and dark as well. And then, of course, they went to buy food. That was stupid. There was nothing available.
Hey, who knew, right?
Exactly. So then they had to go back to my daughter's building in the dark with flashlights up to her apartment to get out whatever food she did still have left, because otherwise they weren't going to eat. Although when my daughter did go back to her building, one of her water pipes broke. Fortunately for her, there were a lot of food trucks in the area, so she'd been eating off of food trucks, which I think she was quite happy about anyway. But
my family was lucky. We tapped into our pandemic stash.
my daughter
Overall,
huh?
Sorry. Overall, I think the exhibitions will be more national than it will be international because there will be too much ruling. So for us, it will be very difficult to decide what to do. Even Vespa, I think most of our biggest or most interested customers are not really able to travel to Vespa, even in October, without being quarantined after coming back home. So we will look. So this is why I was asking how the feeling in the US over there. Maybe we focus on the US in this year.
So having a number of companies that I work with out of Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, and India, and those are the countries that are buying a lot of machinery. If they can't travel, then the question is, why bother? China, of course, China, Vietnam, definitely are factors, but just trying to get around Europe is even tough right now. So I think, to me, I think the U.S. show is probably going to be capable of catering to the U.S. market, which is a good sized market still.
I think the same here. Yeah.
But here's a problem I had with FESPA at the last one. 2 FESPAs ago, they had 2.5 halls of textiles. At the last one, they had less than a half a hall of screen print. And it's like, you know, where are they putting their effort? They're putting it into the digital side, which I understand. But if I were going to make a decision between going to FESPA or Printing United, much as I love going to Europe, I'd still go to Printing United.
I agree with that.
You know, when FESPA was really FESPA and you had tons of screen print companies and related companies, it was a great show to go to, and I loved going to it. But at the last one, I was going crazy. I mean, there was nothing to do. You know, whoever you saw was there because of digital, not because of screen.
Thomas, do you planning doing anything on the web virtual show?
Me,
No, Thomas.
Thomas, are you going to be doing any kind of virtual work?
Yes, yes. We have been building up in the past months also a new competence center where we are actually doing already live sessions from MHM. But it's more promoted through our agent network. So agents are actually connecting to MHM with the customers, and then we do live demos. We have the machines in house, but this is a kind of yeah, everybody can arrange or ask for a live session at MHM, and we will do a print live demo, everything showing the machines, printing, hybrid, and all this. We are able to do that, and we like I said, we have not really promoted it to the customer, to the final end customers. We really handle it more through the agent side right now, but we are working more and more on this kind of web meetings and virtual exhibitions. But a virtual exhibition, I think that's another option for the future.
Yeah, just to say one thing, this last year I've seen more new people with the same equipment than when I go to a real show. I go and see the same people all the time. But when it was virtual, they had each and every party had 1 hour here, 1 hour there, and I was on the same place and they were shifting, and it meant that I had now 4 new people that I buy from than I did the year before, because I just found their equipment. Because I'd run past them all the times when I went to the shows, because we tend to go to the same place, meet the same people each time, and then just see things that are flashy, new things. But otherwise, we go past it. So with the virtual, I got exposed to much more things than I did before. So that's just one thing. Don't just skip the virtual. It could give you much more things, much more customers than you think to start with.
It's a good point to hear this from your side. We did not see that point like that. We have been talking quite often, or a couple of times, about virtual shows, but or virtual exhibition, but we did not have it done right now. But maybe we should look closer to that. Yeah, thank you.
Thomas, did you read the chat from Chris?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I already respond to him on that.
Okay, great.
Because I know the project. It's a graphic project, and we are working on that. I'm connected with SPSI, Dave, and them. So yes.
Okay. I didn't know if you were able to, if you picked up on it or not.
Yep.
Sean, how you doing?
Good, sir. How are you?
Oh, not too bad. Good to see you.
So am I too late for the free automatic press drawing?
We did that an hour ago.
Ah,
You know, I
I would
mean,
love to have got a
where were
MHM in
you?
here.
You know, and it was a 32 color 96 station machine. I mean, with 18 flash units,
and every possible palette. It's like-
one of each. But I did I finally got down my recording, so this whole session is is recorded. So if anybody wants to go back and pick up on anything, it'll be on my website. Because
All right.
then you can find out who won the press.
Yeah,
I did.
Gusta.
Yeah, we're gonna run Chinese rubber ink. That's why we need all those flashes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Rubber
the silica.
always interesting stuff.
So you've already spoke. Everything was already done.
Started at 10, or you know, but you have questions, go ahead and you know, don't forget you can always watch the video. We did go through quite a lot, so you can watch the video on your own. But you have questions? You ready for a second automatic?
If I did anything, it would upgrade to get better service. But I do have a question, and it may just be a rookie question, just because I don't know who makes the rock presses or anything like that, but they look very similar in operation and setup. Are they produced in the same facilities, or are they the same machine, or are they a different machine, or?
No, the Rock is made in Portugal and MHM is made in Austria.
Okay, well, that
And,
explains it.
And they're definitely competitors.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, that's why they shouldn't even have a price that high.
Who?
Like-
Portugal?
Yeah. No, yeah, Portugal.
You know,
Who knows?
you know, price points are definitely dictated by the manufacturer, whatever that might be. So,
Hey, Ron, what's the logo on your shirt and behind you?
The company I'm with is called Amplifier. We're here in
Okay.
Austin, Texas.
Because I see Ryan's got that same logo on his.
Yeah, we're primarily a order fulfillment and customer service company that has a screen print division. That if a customer has somebody else printing their stuff now, or they want to introduce screen print and direct to garment, we have a direct to garment and laser engraving departments as well.
And you
So-
use MHM?
We do. I've used just about every single press manufacturer, different models over 32 years. And I assure you that MHM is superior in every way.
You know, Charlie said that name early on when we first got into screen printing. And he says, but you need to build up to that, because you're going to use it for things that you would never use the other ones for.
oh, it's a great machine. I mean,
Yeah.
you know,
The engineering and the reliability and the pin system, those three things are just head and shoulders above everything else.
I'm bummed I couldn't get one in here though.
yeah, but you know, there's always room for number 2.
Well, then that means I have to go to a whole new building.
Or you have to get your neighbor to bail and go through the wall.
That's always a possibility.
I've seen it happen with a bunch of companies.
Next time you're out, we'll have you come out and, have a discussion with them.
listen, a little bomb and they're gone.
Well, it's not that easy
And,
because
and it
they're
may, and it may take out the wall that you need out as well.
oh, it would do more than they're a pool company. So they got all kinds of chemicals.
Yeah, and they've got a lot of water then, so I guess they can take care of any fires, huh?
Mm-hmm.
What about on the other
I
side?
got some canned fish we can send over. Surströmming. It will take care of it.
You know, so you don't get to smell their chemicals though, do you?
Only when they spill them. And then they're
You know,
pretty good at cleaning it up.
I put in a company years ago in Massachusetts, and their first facility was next door to a pickle place. And so you'd always smell the brine. The best part was I would always get to take home a couple of gallons of pickles, which was great. And then they moved. It's like, what do you mean you moved? I'm hooked on those pickles.
Now, Thomas, are you in Austria right now?
I am.
What is the weather like in Austria?
Snow.
Is it snow right now?
No. We face a very difficult winter this year. We have the southern tide, which was hammered down by snow like hell. And we are the north side of the Alps. Let's call it, the north side, the more closer to Germany side.
Yeah.
Actually, to be honest, I mean, we can ski, but also the golf courses will open the next days. So it's not a real winter, you know. First week of March to get this warm weather here is unusual. It's like 15, 18 degrees. We had last week, we had 20 degrees Celsius. What is 20 degrees?
That's 70.
Like 72 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's in February. So we don't know. Normally we have winter this time. Yes, it should
Well,
be
you
snow.
know, you can take out your snowshoes with your golf clubs.
Yeah, now you need both in the car, you know, and the golf clubs. So, but that's good too, you know.
Absolutely.
There are not too many places you can ski in the morning and golf in the afternoon. But this what you can do.
Vancouver. You can ski on the mountain, but you can play golf at the bottom of it.
Yeah, same here now.
Yeah. Now we're supposed to get a little snow last week, 3 to 5 inches. I woke up to over 12 inches. And yesterday was 63. Today it'll be 60. And tomorrow it's snow. So, but it's Colorado and it's winter time. And so snow in the mountains are good. I don't ski anymore. So as far as I'm concerned, they can keep it up in the mountains. I don't need any of it down where I am. I prefer the 60s.
Yeah, I worked in Colorado at Goodbye Blue Monday, who just closed. And
I know. I just helped Bob sell off everything.
Yeah, I ran that plant for like 10 years ago. And then I worked with Crazy Shirts Elevations there in Aurora.
Yeah.
We're all 100% water-based, and they have been for decades.
Yep.
We're
Yeah, from back in their days in Hawaii.
Yeah. So I helped him start that plant and worked with him for about a year, and then ended up here in Austin.
And so now you can listen to all the music you want. Of course, Austin City Limits didn't make it this year, but there's always next year.
Yeah. I'm in my 6th year here.
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I do get down there to visit my daughter, although it's been over a year, obviously. But I'm probably going to be down there right after the Fort Worth show.
Yeah.
With my mask on. In any event, gentlemen, I'm going to close this down. Thomas, thanks so much for coming on. Ron and the rest of you, thanks so much. Chris, I hope you got some answers to what you were looking for. And Ghost, I'll see you again. Sean, I always get to see you, so that's all right. In any event, gentlemen, thank you again. In 2 weeks from now, on Tuesday, as opposed to Wednesday, I'm going to have Andrew from PMI Tape on. So I know you have some questions about, they do have some water-based tape and stuff. And I know, Sean, you've been testing it. Thomas, thank you again. Look forward to seeing you at a show, maybe getting to work together again. That'll be fun. And with that, I'm done. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Stay safe, gentlemen.
Sorry,
Take
I
care.
missed most of it. See you
Bye
later.
now.
Yeah.